Joining us now is Democratic Congressman James Walkinshaw from Virginia, a member of the Oversight Committee. Congressman, thanks for taking the time. We know you have to get 2/3 in the House to pass this discharge petition. That's a high bar, especially with how polarized the parties are right now. Do you have confidence you're going to get there?
I think the discharge petition will probably pass nearly unanimously in the House after Donald Trump gave House Republicans permission to vote for it. Had he not done that, I think only a small, courageous handful of House Republicans would have voted for it. But it will pass easily in the House today.
Are you surprised by the president changing course and saying he'll sign the measure if it reaches his desk?
I think the president changed course only when it was crystal clear that he was going to lose the vote. It was clear last week that there were going to be enough votes in the House to pass the bill to release the files. Senate was a different question at that point. But look, the important thing to know is all of the vote in the House, the vote in the Senate, doesn't need to happen. What could happen is Donald Trump could decide himself to release the files today.
Yep.
He decided to release files to try to embarrass the late Dr. Martin Luther King FBI files. He could release these files as well.
Here's how Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries framed the president's about face. Let's listen.
Donald Trump appears to have chickened out on the Epstein scandal. He's caved. It's a complete and total surrender.
A complete and total surrender? Is that how you see it?
Look, he spent the last week frantically scrambling to try to get Republicans off the discharge petition. He had Lauren Boebert dragged into the White House Situation Room to have her browbeat by the FBI director and the attorney general. He threatened the political future of Marjorie Taylor Greene and other Republicans. He clearly did everything he could to prevent this from coming to a vote and then to try to win the vote. And he realized that he had lost and the vote was going to pass. And to quote Leader Jeffries, at that point, he surrendered and caved, and he's pretending that he's supported it all along.
He is still calling it a Democratic hoax. We know the Epstein crimes are no hoax, but how do you answer to this suggestion that we also heard from Speaker Johnson last hour that Democrats are trying to use the Epstein files to score political points? And he points out how he had an opportunity to call on past administrations to release all the files, and your party didn't.
Well, one, I think President Trump and Speaker Johnson should sit down and tell the survivors that they think the whole thing is a hoax. It is not a hoax. It is very real. It is very serious. And the survivors are calling on us to deliver transparency and justice. And with respect to previous administrations, during the Biden administration, one, President Biden respected the firewall between the White House and the Department of Justice. But also at that time, the investigation and the legal process that led to Ghislaine Maxwell's prosecution and her appeals were still pending. So it wouldn't have made any sense to release investigative files while the legal process was still ongoing with respect to Ghislaine Maxwell. And that was true throughout President Biden's presidency.
Are Democrats trying to use the Epstein files to score political points?
Democrats are trying to use the Epstein files to answer the call from the survivors for transparency and ultimately justice. And we have said all along, we don't care where the files lead. If the files lead to additional prominent Democrats being identified who were involved in Epstein's crimes, so be it. What we know from the files and emails that were released last week is that Donald Trump is much closer to Epstein and Epstein's crimes than Donald Trump has previously admitted. But let's release the files and let the chips fall where they may, have full transparency and get to justice, no matter who is mentioned.
Congressman James Walkinshaw, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate the conversation.
Thank you.